Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? I wanted to talk to you briefly about clerics and what my plans are for them at this point, as I'm DMing. And I talked about my two guiding principles are that I want the game to be simple and rules light, and I want a faster rate of advancement for players. So, if you're a caster, you're going to give them some more spells to begin with and give them a faster rate of advancement in spells because we just don't have a lot of time. So that's the primary thing I do for clerics, just, same as I would do for magic users. And that's really about it. I let them precast because I think that's more crucial for a cleric to be able to do that unimpeded. Because when you need neutralized poison, you need it right now. And I can kind of that's mechanically you need it right now. And fluff-wise, you can kind of say that well, the cleric is developing this relationship with his deity or deities, so that's why he gets to be able to do that sort of thing. Other than that, give him the extra spells for wisdom bonus based on the modifier. Real cut and dry. So that's pretty much it. I let them use whatever weapon they want to for the most part. I'm not, I don't see the need to have that, kind of, one style of weapon for the clerics based on an old rule. I don't think it really makes or breaks the game. Clerics were probably my favorite class to play for a long time, and to me they were the thinking man's fighter because, yeah, you had less hit points on average than the fighter did, but not really because you could cure yourself. And then, attack bonus wise, the lower levels, like in something like basic or first edition, you're right behind the fighter, right with them, in terms of attack bonus. So you're pretty much a fighter with some extra goodies. So I really liked playing clerics. I like that kind of mojo. But I've been thinking about it more and more. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure I want to eliminate the class entirely, but, I'm really kind of enamored with the idea of like something like this game, an old game called Wizard's World, where they just took all the cleric spells and washed them into the magic user list instead. So you didn't want to have clerics in that particular game. Why couldn't the wizards cure people and that sort of thing? So that's kind of an interesting concept. And even the idea that something like Turn Undead might be a spell. They just cast that. So it's not just the domain of the cleric. Because a lot of times what we use clerics for, we need a doctor. And if we're going to mess around with vampires and wights, we need somebody that can like turn them. And so they're kind of like this necessary guy that we bring along to the party. And a lot of times they're an NPC. I still enjoy playing them, but I'm not so sure, whether we really, need them in the campaign I'm coming up with. But that's going to be a flavor thing, and I'll probably, mess around with that a little bit. The idea that maybe some of those spells can just be taken care of by the wizard. I also kind of, dig, the idea, and I might talk about this again a little bit in another video. When the creators of Swords and Wizardry brought this up, it's not a new idea, but the idea that maybe you can be class and a half. You take an XP hit, but you can have some of the abilities of another class, whether you're a fighter and you get to maybe sort of turn undead because you're a holy fighter. Maybe you can cast some cleric spells, but not as many. One of the things I really kind of like about the, upping the cleric spell list and the caster spell list in general, because, I want them to have a faster rate of advancement. But then if somebody else wants to take a little bit extra, they maybe cast like, one Cure Light Wounds or one Bless or something. So that gives them some more options, without kind of stepping on the cleric's territory, so to speak. Once again, I'm really not sure what I'm going to do, but it's an interesting class to kind of, dissect and figure out whether I need it or not in the upcoming game. And, once again, these things are all up to, my and your discretion, but it's just more food for thought.